There is one truth that not many people talk about. When we reach old age, what people fear the most is not illness, but the feeling of being forgotten, of becoming dependent, and of losing the right to live life on their own terms. Many believe that a nursing home is the perfect place to spend their later years. A quiet, clean environment with caregivers, regular meals, and companions of the same generation to talk to every day. It sounds ideal, but for many, behind that perfection lies an emptiness they never expected. It is when every morning begins with someone else's wake-up call, when every meal is served without the familiar taste of old habits, and when every night the lights go out at a fixed hour. Not because they choose to, but because it is time to sleep. Everything is good, everything is safe, yet many still feel as though they are living inside a pattern someone else has created for them. Old age should be a time to slow down and live gently. But for many, it becomes a journey of adjustment and compromise, between freedom and safety, between care and loneliness, between being looked after and losing the right to choose. A nursing home is not a bad thing. Many of them offer wonderful living conditions, thoughtful care, and help older adults maintain their health and emotional stability. But like every major decision in life, it has two sides, the light and the shadow, the safety and the trade-offs. Before anyone walks through that door, the most important question is not, is that place good? But, am I truly ready for this change? So, in today's video, we will go through 10 things you should know before moving into a nursing home, 5 comforting benefits that can bring you peace of mind, and 5 others, those less talked about truths that everyone eventually feels once they are there. If you are considering this for your parents or for yourself, watch until the end, because sometimes just one small piece of understanding today can completely change the way we prepare for old age tomorrow. The first benefit: having care and support around the clock. As we grow older, what worries most people is not the wrinkles or the gray hair. It is the fragility of the body. A small fall can become a serious accident. A brief dizzy spell can cause the whole family to panic. And sleepless nights caused by pain can slowly drain both body and mind. In a nursing home, the first thing that makes many people feel truly at ease is the availability of medical attention and support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There, no one has to worry if they suddenly feel unwell late at night, or wake up in the morning with a sore shoulder or shortness of breath. Because trained staff are always nearby, ready to help at the push of a button. Many nursing homes in the United States are equipped with modern emergency systems. Doctors visit regularly. Nurses monitor everyone's health. Meals are planned for proper nutrition. Medications are managed on schedule, and every emergency situation has a clear response protocol. For those who used to live alone, knowing that help is always available brings a deep sense of peace. And it is not only about medical care. Sometimes just a small gesture from a nurse, a caring question, a helping hand to stand up, or a simple smile from a caregiver is enough to make an elderly person feel that they have not been abandoned on this final journey of life. Many seniors who used to live alone say that moving into a nursing home helped them feel less afraid of falling without anyone knowing, less afraid of a sudden pain without anyone hearing, and less afraid of being alone during their weakest moments. Here, at least they know that if something happens, someone will come, call their name, and ask, "Are you okay?" It is a feeling of relief that not every place can offer, a kind of peace that does not come from material comfort, but from the sense of being cared for, watched over, and protected. For many, that is what makes the nursing home feel not just like a place to live, but like a warm blanket of safety wrapping around their fragile old age. The second benefit: a community of friends in the same stage of life. One of the things older people fear the most when living alone is not illness, it is silence. Those quiet mornings with no one to talk to, those meals where the only sound is the clinking of forks and knives, and those long evenings spent in an empty room, where the ticking clock feels like a reminder that every second they are growing older. In a nursing home, one beautiful thing that many people do not expect is that they are no longer alone. Everyone there belongs to the same generation. They have all lived through wars, raised children, worked for decades, and now they sit together, sharing memories and stories that once seemed long forgotten. Many elderly residents say, "At least here, I have someone to talk to." Some enjoy playing cards in the afternoon, some like to walk together around the garden, and some simply sit side by side in silence, sharing presence itself, which is often what older people need the most. Friendship in a nursing home has a special kind of beauty. It does not come from novelty, but from deep understanding. No one needs to explain too much, because they all understand the pain of losing a life partner, the loneliness when children and grandchildren are busy, and the preciousness of every day they still have their health and each other's company. In many nursing homes across the United States, there are group birthday parties, art and singing classes, or old movie screenings that everyone watched when they were young. One elderly woman once said, "I thought I had forgotten what it felt like to laugh until tears came, until I met my friends here again." In the world of old age, a smile can be more healing than medicine, and a good conversation can soothe loneliness better than any sleeping pill. When built the right way, a nursing home community can become a second family, a place where no one is judged, no one is seen as a burden, but rather listened to, respected, and reminded that they still matter. Of course, not everyone finds it easy to fit in. Some people need time, and some stay quiet because they have faced loss. But once they find someone who understands them, the nursing home is no longer just a temporary place to stay, but becomes a place where they can relive a part of their youth in the comfort of shared understanding. The third benefit: no more worrying about chores or cooking. There was a time when cooking a meal, washing clothes, or cleaning the house was such an ordinary part of life that no one thought twice about it. But as the years go by, those once simple tasks can start to feel like heavy burdens. The stairs seem steeper, the floors more slippery, and the things that once felt familiar suddenly become challenges. That is why many people feel relieved when they move into a nursing home. Here, they no longer have to worry about those daily chores. Every meal is prepared, the rooms are cleaned regularly, clothes are washed and neatly folded, and even the bed sheets are changed on schedule. All of this allows older adults to save their remaining energy for resting, reading, or simply enjoying a peaceful, unhurried day. For many, it is the first time in their lives they have lived without having to worry. No need to wake up early to prepare breakfast. No need to bend down to mop the floor. No fear of forgetting to turn off the stove or burning a pot. That thoughtful care brings a sense of safety and comfort that many have never experienced before, especially those who spent their entire lives caring for others. One elderly woman once said, "I have cooked for 40 years. Now I finally get to sit down and let someone else cook for me." That is not just convenience. It is a well-deserved pause after a lifetime of hard work. In addition, having meals on time and following a diet suitable for age and health conditions helps them maintain better well-being. Many who once struggled with high blood pressure or diabetes find themselves healthier after just a few months of proper nutrition and care in the nursing home. Of course, sometimes the meals there lack the familiar flavors, no homemade soup they used to love, no comforting smell of a family kitchen. But in return, there is peace of mind. They know they are being cared for, looked after, and no longer have to push themselves to do things beyond their strength. That is why many residents say moving into a nursing home feels like taking a vacation after a long life. Not because they are lazy, but because they have done enough, and now, at last, they can allow themselves to truly rest. The fourth benefit: a stable daily routine that helps maintain health. When we are young, repetition feels dull. We crave change, new experiences, and the excitement of each day being a little different, because that is how we feel alive. But when we grow old, what both the body and the mind need most is stability. In a nursing home, everything follows a clear schedule: breakfast time, medication time, exercise time, nap time, all carefully organized like a well-wound clock. For older adults, this structure brings a deep sense of safety and reassurance. They no longer have to struggle to remember, "Did I take my medicine?" or "Have I eaten yet today?" For many, that stability is not just a routine. It is an invisible medicine that keeps them healthier every day. When the body eats, sleeps, and moves at consistent times, the internal rhythm stays balanced, blood pressure becomes steadier, sleep is deeper, and the mind feels lighter. Many who used to live alone say, when I was at home, I would sleep at 2 in the morning, wake up at 10, and eat at random hours. Now, even though life feels a bit more structured, I feel stronger, more alert, and less sad. For the elderly, physical and mental health are more closely connected than most people realize. A steady daily rhythm not only keeps the body functioning properly, but also gives them something to look forward to each day. Breakfast with familiar friends, light exercise in the garden, or an afternoon music session together. In the United States, many nursing homes also provide personalized therapy programs. Residents have their blood pressure, heart health, and nutrition monitored, and receive customized exercise plans depending on their condition. This helps them not only live longer, but live better, with both body and spirit being cared for in the right way. Of course, living by a schedule can feel restrictive for some, especially those who are used to freedom and flexibility. But for most older adults, a stable rhythm is like an anchor in the slowing tide of life. It keeps them from drifting too far and gives each day a sense of order, meaning, and calm. Sometimes, peace does not come from big things, but from knowing exactly what each morning will bring, what you will do, who you will meet, and how you will live. For many, that is what makes the nursing home feel like the safest and most grounded place they have ever been. The fifth benefit, engaging in social and emotional activities. Old age is often associated with quietness, a slower phase of life, fewer movements, fewer encounters, and gradually closing oneself off from the outside world. But in many nursing homes today, especially in the United States, that story is beginning to change. There, people understand that mental health is just as important as physical health. So beyond medical care, modern nursing homes create an environment where older adults can connect, stay active, and live with purpose every day. In the morning, they might start with a gentle yoga class in the garden, where the early sunlight glows on silver hair and laughter blends with the sound of birds. At noon, they might join an art therapy session, where trembling hands still manage to paint colorful, heartfelt pictures. In the afternoon, they could garden together, nurture flowers, or sing in the home's choir. And in the evening, sometimes there is a movie night or a slow dance, where two seniors hold hands, smiling as if they were 20 again. These small activities carry enormous meaning. They help older people feel alive, useful, and excited for tomorrow. Many nursing homes also invite therapists to lead group sessions, where residents can talk about their worries, memories, or longing for family. Some even organize visits from local school children. The young and the old, coloring, singing, and telling stories together. In those moments, the laughter and warmth exchanged between two generations often move the elderly to tears, because they can feel the heartbeat of life again. Studies in the United States show that older adults who regularly participate in social activities have lower rates of depression, healthier hearts, and most importantly, a stronger sense of purpose. For them, waking up each morning is no longer just one more day to live, but one more day to do something meaningful. So if you ask what many seniors feel most grateful for after moving into a nursing home, they might say, "I found joy again, the kind I thought I had lost." That joy does not come from grand things, but from the simplest, most human moments. A song, a photograph, a blooming plant, or a friend who truly listens. It is in those moments they realize that even though age takes away strength, memory, and agility, there is still one thing it can never take: the ability to feel happiness and to share it with those around them. When the light begins to fade, people often say, "No place is perfect, not even those built to care for others." And nursing homes are no exception. They can bring safety, thoughtful care, and peace of mind in one's final years. But along with that comes a trade-off few truly anticipate. A trade-off not measured in money, but in emotions, freedom, and sometimes even dignity. Because when someone steps through that door, they may think they are simply finding a place to rest. But in reality, they are entering a world where everything is arranged, and they are no longer the ones setting the rhythm of their own life. There have been people who once laughed at the thought of nursing homes. They said, "What is there to be afraid of? You have care, a bed, and friends." But just a few months later, those same people find themselves gazing out the window every day, wondering, "Why do I still feel like I am slowly disappearing?" It is a feeling hard to describe, a quiet emptiness, as if time keeps moving forward, sky. But the soul has been trapped in a mold that does not belong to it. And that is something no one ever warns you about. So before you, or someone you love, decide that a nursing home is the safest choice, listen to the next part of this story. Because there are truths that can only be understood once you have lived inside those walls and felt the true cost of peace. The first drawback: losing personal freedom. Freedom is something people only truly understand the value of once it is gone. For older adults, this truth becomes painfully clear. During their years of independence, they could choose when to wake up, what to eat, where to go, and what to do, or simply sit for hours, quietly watching the sunlight change across the porch. But once they move into a nursing home, that rhythm of life no longer belongs to them. Here, everything runs on schedule. Meal times, bath times, bedtime, medication times, all carefully planned, precise down to the minute. To outsiders, it looks like discipline and good organization. But for those living inside, it can sometimes feel like being caught inside a giant clock, counting down the seconds of a life they no longer control. In the morning, they wake when the caregiver knocks on the door. At noon, they eat whatever is on the day's set menu. In the afternoon, they must stay within designated areas. And at night, when the lights go out, silence fills the halls. Even if they wish to stay awake a little longer, they cannot. Many people say nursing homes are the safest places in the world. But for some, that safety can feel a lot like control. You cannot just go for a walk on your own. You cannot drive out for a ride. And sometimes you cannot even do the smallest things you once took for granted. Like making yourself a cup of coffee in the morning. Over time, these small restrictions make people feel as though they are simply existing inside a frame, not truly living. Not because anyone mistreats them, but because they have lost something essential to being alive: the right to choose. One elderly woman once said during a therapy session, "What makes me sad is not old age, it's that I no longer get to decide my own life." Her words left the whole room silent for a moment, because they touched the deepest fear we all share. The fear of being alive, but no longer being yourself. Freedom is not just about going wherever you want. Sometimes it is as simple as being able to live each day in your own rhythm. And when that is taken away, old age is no longer a time of rest, but a journey of learning how to accept. Perhaps that is why many people who have lived in nursing homes say, "What I miss most is not my old house, but the feeling of being able to open the door and step outside whenever I wanted." The second drawback: gradually losing connection with family and the outside world. There is a very particular kind of loneliness, the kind where you still have loved ones, but are no longer part of their daily lives. Many people arrive at nursing homes with a small suitcase, a few old photos, a couple of keepsakes, and the promise that their children and grandchildren will visit often. At first, they truly believe it. Every weekend, the door opens, familiar faces appear with laughter, hugs, and warm questions. But as time passes, the visits start to fade. A week turns into 2, then a month, then 2 months. Life outside continues to move forward. The children grow up, the adults get busier with work, and gradually, the nursing home becomes a separate world where time moves slower, quieter, and fewer people remember to visit. It is not that anyone has stopped caring. It is simply that the world outside moves too fast, while those inside are left behind, spinning in their own slow orbit. Many seniors still wait for a phone call, still look toward the gate every afternoon, hoping someone will come. And when no one does, they comfort themselves by saying, "They're just busy, that's all." But that emptiness still shows in their eyes. The eyes of someone who spent a lifetime caring for their family, and now just wants to hear the words, "Mom, Dad, or Grandpa" one more time, even if only through a phone call. In the United States, many nursing homes have video call systems and shared activity rooms, but no technology can replace the warmth of a real hand to hold. No screen can fill the space between two hearts that miss each other. And so that loneliness slowly becomes a habit. They start to speak less, expect less, and learn to make peace with their own solitude. Old stories are told again and again, as if repeating them helps the memories stay alive a little longer, because there is no one left to remember with them. The outside world, the world that once meant everything, is now just a blurry image on a television screen, the sound of cars passing by, the distant hum of life they used to belong to, but can now only watch through the window. What hurts the most is that most of them are not angry, not resentful, just quietly sad, knowing they have slipped out of the rhythm of the lives they once loved. Like a book that has been read and placed back on the shelf, still there, but no one opens it anymore. If you are watching this video, somewhere out there, in a small, quiet room, someone might be sitting and staring at a phone, hoping it will ring. Just one call, just one simple, "How are you today?" can be enough to brighten an entire silent day. The third drawback. Losing the sense of home and belonging home is a short word, but it holds nearly an entire life. It is not only where we sleep, but where we feel safe, where we can be ourselves, and where all our memories return when we close our eyes. So when someone leaves the house they have lived in for decades to move into a nursing home, what they lose is not only a physical space, but a piece of their own soul. Many elders tell of the first day in their new room, feeling like a stranger in their own life. The room is clean, the mattress is comfortable, the light is soft, but everything smells like someone else. There is no old chair where they used to read the newspaper, no wall marked with pencil lines measuring the children's height, and no familiar morning sounds from the kitchen. In nursing homes, rooms tend to look almost identical. The paint color, the curtains, the furniture layout, even the scent. Everything is perfect by standard, but it lacks the spirit that a real home alone can have. The scratches on the wall, the soft creak of wooden floorboards, or the smell of coffee drifting from the corner of the kitchen in the morning. Many try to bring a few familiar items, a photo, a teacup, an old album, but they soon realize those objects soothe memory rather than replace the feeling of coming back. The feeling of belonging cannot be packed into a convenient room. It comes from routines, from sounds, from tastes, and most importantly, from the sense that this is a place you chose, not a place chosen for you. That is what many lose when they move into a nursing home. They still live, still receive care, but they no longer feel ownership of the space they occupy. When they look around, they know they are only temporary residents in a system designed for everyone, but they belong fully to nowhere. One man said in an interview, "I am grateful to be cared for here, but every time I close my eyes, I still see my old house. And I know nothing else can replace that feeling." Those words fell silent over the room. Because home is not just an address, it stores the past, the love, and the person we once were. When we leave it, we do not only leave a place, we leave a part of our own memory behind. The fourth drawback, rapid decline in health when movement stops. There is a paradox in old age. The more we are cared for, the easier the body forgets how to be strong. In nursing homes, everything is arranged so elders do not have to worry or struggle. Meals are served at the bedside. Rooms are cleaned, staff help with bathing and walking, and even with dressing. Everything is convenient, considerate, and safe. But those conveniences can cause the body to forget how to operate on its own. At first, it is skipping a morning walk. Then a few days, then a few weeks, and muscles begin to weaken quietly. Legs that were once steady start to tremble a little. Standing up requires holding onto a chair, and slowly, dependency grows. For many elders, wheelchairs do not arrive because of illness, but because of the habit of sitting still. They sit more, move less, and the body built to move begins to wither day by day. A nurse once said, "There are people who arrive here still healthy, but after 1 year, they need a walker. Not because they became sick, but because they stopped moving." When the body moves less, circulation worsens, the heart weakens, lung capacity decreases, and worse yet, the spirit becomes sluggish. People begin to feel tired, lose sleep, lose appetite, and gradually lose the will to live. Many studies in the United States show that older adults who maintain light daily physical activity, such as walking, breathing exercises, or gardening, have significantly better longevity and mental health compared to those who sit inside a room all day. But in nursing homes, everything is too convenient. When you no longer have to do anything, you slowly forget how to do things for yourself. One woman said in group therapy, "Used to be I climbed stairs, cleaned the kitchen, watered the plants. Now I do not need to do anything, and I feel myself weakening, little by little." Her words sounded light, but they carried the weary sigh of a whole generation. Human health is like a flame. If you do not feed it, it slowly goes out. Old age does not make people weak. Immobility does. Sometimes what elders need is not to be helped with everything, but to be encouraged to do the smallest things by themselves. A short walk around the garden, a few minutes of morning stretching, or simply pouring a glass of water for oneself. Those small acts are how the body and mind say, I am still here. I still want to live. The fifth drawback: loss of privacy and dignity. There are things people are willing to trade when old age arrives: health, work, busyness. But there is one thing everyone hopes to keep at any age: dignity. Yet, in nursing homes, dignity is often the first thing at risk. When you are younger, privacy is natural. You have your own room and can close the door when you want quiet. You choose your clothes, and you decide who may enter your personal space. In a nursing home, those things become luxuries. In the morning, the door opens before you are fully awake. A caregiver comes in with a familiar smile, asks if you are ready to bathe, then gently helps you undress, helps you move, and sometimes does things you once felt only you should do yourself. No one has bad intentions. Everyone is dedicated, thoughtful, and professional. But the truth is, each such moment takes away a bit of a person's dignity. An old man said in a group conversation, I know they are just doing their job, but every time they help me into the bathroom, I feel a little smaller. Not out of shame, but because he no longer feels like the owner of his own body. In many nursing homes, night checks are necessary, but sometimes staff enter without knocking. A small noise in the middle of the night is enough to startle an elder, and they learn that in this place, privacy is only a concept. Gradually, they learn to be obedient to other people's schedules for fear of bothering anyone or being labeled difficult. They become used to being bathed, dressed, and cleaned by others, and they also become used to losing their voice. A female nurse once confessed in an interview in the United States, "There are times when I see patients crying without saying a word. Not because of pain, but because they feel treated like a body to be cared for, not a person with feelings." Those words are quiet but piercing. Dignity does not vanish in an instant. It fades bit by bit, each time a person is forced to depend without choice. The frightening thing is not needing help. It is when help becomes a replacement for autonomy. When every decision, no matter how small, mealtimes, bedtime, how to dress, how to bathe, is in someone else's hands, people stop seeing themselves as a person and begin to see themselves as a patient. Old age, however fragile, deserves respect like any other life stage. A question before entering a room, a brief pause before helping someone dress, can be the simplest ways to preserve dignity. Because in the end, elders do not only need good care, they need to be treated as whole human beings. Live fully while we still can. Old age is not frightening. What is frightening is being alive and breathing, but no longer feeling truly present. A nursing home is not a bad place. It can provide peace, safety, and the most careful care for one's later years. But it can also take away the subtle things that make a person who they are: freedom, connection, a sense of belonging, and dignity. The good things we mentioned, attentive care, a warm community, convenience, and a stable routine, are real bright spots, but behind them are fragile emotional pieces that no one fully understands unless they have lived it themselves. Because sometimes the price of peace is a quiet exchange. Before deciding for yourself or for a loved one, remember, choosing a nursing home is not only choosing a place to live, it is choosing a way of life. Prepare your mind and your heart, and most importantly, talk to one another. Let elders have a voice in that decision. Sometimes they do not need absolute protection, but a small space of freedom so they can still be themselves. And if you are watching this video, if there is someone you love in your heart, call them today. Just one call, just one small question can sometimes brighten an entire silent day. Life is shorter than we think. Do not let the final years pass in silence, when we still have chances to love and connect. If today's story made you reflect, or made you think of someone in your life, leave a comment below, share your thoughts, or simply send a message to someone you care about. If you believe stories like this can help others understand more, please like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss future content, where we continue to explore hidden corners, values, and real human stories. Because in the end, old age is not only about living longer, it is about living truly, living meaningfully, and living with love. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video, where we continue to search for the true meaning of living well.